What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Malik Scott. Malik Scott is the trainer of Deontay Wilder, came in defense of Anthony Joshua after his defeat to Oleksandr Usyk, branding the Ukrainian a boxing great, while Andy Ruiz Jr. was also full of praise for the new heavyweight champion. Of course, Joshua lost his 3 belts on Saturday night to Oleksandr Usyk by unanimous decision, okay? We know what the scorecards were, 117 to 112, 116 to 112, 115 to 113. Now, reflected the former cruiserweight's overwhelming dominance despite a significant size difference, and while AJ was taken to the hospital with suspected broken injuries, okay? Joshua has already received plenty of stick for his approach in the fight and losing his belts for a second time, but Wilder's trainer Malik Scott has been part of several training camps with Usyk and sparred him on numerous occasions, has hit back at anyone criticizing the dethroned champ. Get this. Reacting Usyk's win on Instagram, Scott wrote, FYI, if anybody sends me a message calling Anthony Joshua a bum or talking derogatory about him because he lost to a great fighter, I'm blocking you immediately. Hashtag fickle humans. Scott knows Usyk well from their times at the gym together and also sent the Ukrainian a message of congratulations, having previously spoken incredibly highly of him and predicting big things in the heavyweight division. Boxing this dude is like boxing a black belt, said Scott in 2019. Every day you box him, he's a brainiac. He's a scientist. He's a master boxer. He's just incredible to be in the ring with. If he makes you miss, he makes you pay. If you slow, he makes you pay. If you fast, he makes you pay. So it's chess in there with him. But if you fuck up, he makes you pay. Wow. Okay, those are the words of Malik Scott. Fair play to Malik Scott. I think, a lot of people are giving Anthony Joshua a hard time. I think more of the strategy and instead of, a lot of people are deciding to, hey, yeah, he's a bum. People are so fickle. Like Scott said, he's absolutely right. People will love you one day, hate you the next day. And I wonder if Deontay Wilder didn't have an explanation of explanations, would people ride with Wilder if there was no accusations against Fury? You know what I mean? Probably so. People needed something to point the finger at, but people will be quick to write you off. That's why fans, it's a such thing as casuals and hardcores, and it's a such thing as loyalty and a such thing as not loyal, right? And a lot of people are, just by nature. A lot of people will write you off and they forget very quickly who you once were in the division, that you got all those damn belts by fighting champions to get those damn belts and not, undefeated champions for those belts or long reigning champions for those belts. People forget about that very easily in one performance. So I understand why Scott understands that, because if anybody that knows boxing, he knows boxing. If you listen to him talk, he's analyzed boxing. And again, some of the best boxers, or should I say some of the best trainers, weren't always the best boxers, but that doesn't mean they don't know boxing, okay? If he sparred Usyk like he said he has, he's in for a treat. The words that he used to describe Oleksandr Usyk, scientist, brainiac, you know what I mean, black belt. Those type of things define someone like Usyk. Look, there's a reason why Lomachenko in the lower weight classes was a force to be reckoned with, was a threat to all those guys there. Ask Rigondeaux, okay? Ask Floyd Mayweather. He didn't want Tank going in there with Floyd because he knew Tank probably his career would have been derailed if he'd got in there with Lomachenko at the time. Okay, so those guys from the Ukraine, Loma's father trained him for this fight. He knows Usyk. Usyk knows the sport. He thinks about what he does, and he's always focused. He has a razor sharp focus about him. You see the eyes, they may look spooky, but I think those spooky eyes really truly represent focus and determination and intellect when it comes to certain things that he knows what to do and when to do. Even though he was in a tough, hard fight, it wasn't a boring fight, was it? It wasn't a running around fight like everybody claimed, was it? No. But it's good to show that Malik Scott knows Oleksandr Usyk. So instead of pushing and kicking Joshua while he's down, you're praising Oleksandr Usyk for what he already was. See, a lot of people don't appreciate who Usyk is. They're just looking at Joshua like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Well, the question is, what did Usyk do to stop him from doing this and doing that? Okay? And that's what Malik Scott's talking about. And for firsthand, to me, people talk about sparring. I spar and I still get beat up, okay? You get beat up in sparring as well as real life, as well in bar fights and in the streets and whatever, right? Sparring is a real deal. And he's sparred Usyk. So Usyk has gave Malik Scott that particular lesson, okay, in sparring him. Not necessarily beating, but lesson. He's seen what Usyk can do, and he's praised Usyk. And you don't have to be 6'6" to be a champion. Ask Mike Tyson. Ask Evander Holyfield. Those guys weren't huge guys. Lennox Lewis started that reign, followed by the Klitschko's, then followed by Wilder, then followed by Fury, then followed by Joshua. But it does not have to define you to be this superstar guy, and just because you're 6'2", 6'3", you can't be champion. And that's what it shows you at the end of the day. No flack for Joshua, but I'm glad that he was mature enough to understand, like, hey, karma's a bitch. You don't want to say certain things about certain fighters because you have your own work cut out to you. And it's not in good graces to talk shit about a guy that's fallen because, hey, reality is in front of you. You don't know what's real. You know what you hope for, right? But you don't know what's going to happen in that fight with Tyson Fury. So I think Malik Scott made the right choice. And I absolutely agree with Malik Scott as he praises Oleksandr Usyk. You guys tell me what you think of Malik Scott's counterpunch towards anyone that talks bad about Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.